Okay, well, this cover is nightmare fuel. Can I interest you in some classic feral Wolverine? Alright, now this is an iconic storyline. Were you there for it? Hey everyone, it's vmcampos, comic book fan. Welcome to another comic book video. Now, I've been into comics since 1987, and it's my #1 favorite hobby. There's just such a great variety of comic books out there, you know? Well, anyway, my dad knows I love comics still all these years later, and he picks up comics for me that he finds at the thrift stores and swap meets. So he got me this comic, as well as a huge stack of other comics, and I'm just going to browse them with you in this video and kind of see what he picked up and maybe find a gem or two or a bunch of WTH comics. So let's check it out. So yeah, literally it is a stack of comics. There it is there, trying to fit it into the camera. It's kind of bigger than my hand, so average human hand, and it's a big old stack of comics. So we'll just kind of browse from top to bottom and see what we see. So I showed this off here. This is an issue of The Dreaming. So this is basically a side story of the whole Sandman Vertigo titles, and I never read these back in the day. I never really read the, hey, those monks have guns, but I never really read the Sandman books. So after that series ended, DC wanted Neil Gaiman to do more, but, you know, he said, nope, 75 issues is all you get. This is from November 2000, issue 54. Wow, back in the day, you could just have dozens of issues of just about any title, huh? And this cover is amazing, isn't it? Nightmare fuel. Here's a couple of more mainstream books. We've got some Green Lantern stuff, 2008 vintage. This is after the Sinestro Corps War, and yeah, I don't know Green Lantern. I don't really know anything about the whole most recent plots of it all, and here the Sinestro War happened. Hey, there's the Scarecrow. He's going to get a yellow lantern. So I kind of vaguely know that there was the whole Brightest Day storyline, and all of these brand new colors of rings came out. It was, what, the Emotional Spectrum or whatever, and Necron with the black ring, and kind of vaguely know about all that, but not really. And then there's all of these other rings, and the red lanterns, and purple lanterns, and Indigo Tribe. I don't know, it's just a whole bunch of interesting stories. Sinestro looks kind of cool there. And yeah, this is after the Sinestro Corps War, I guess. Did you read Green Lantern at this time? Tell me about it and give me a synopsis in the comments. All right, now we're talking over here, Lobo. This is from 2000. It's Hitman versus Lobo, or Hitman and Lobo, that stupid bastich. So I loved Lobo back in the 90s. Okay, so creative team also is Garth Ennis and Doug Mahnke. He was involved in the Mask books, I believe. And of course, everyone knows Garth Ennis. So Hitman was a character that Ennis created in the late 90s. He's a hitman. And Lobo, of course, is this parody character that just became synonymous with the excesses of the 90s. Always was super violent, super hilarious. And so far, this is one of the books that, yeah, I'm really happy to have gotten this. Thanks, Dad. I can't wait to read this. I can't wait to read this Lobo comic. Here's Hinterkind. It's in issue #1, extra-sized issue. It doesn't really seem extra-sized, but it's issue #1, $2.99 from 2013. Now, all of these books are pretty much in bad shape. He got them from the comic shops. Oh, poor little zebra. He got it from the swap meets, and over there, they don't really take care of them. Now, actually, he's always on the lookout for the ones that are $1 or less, and he knows to stay clear of the ones that actually are bagging and boarding the comics, because then they're way more expensive, like, you know, $2. So all of these, I got to ask him again how much he paid for all of these, but I don't doubt that he got like 10 for $1 or something. And it's just kind of a variety of things. Hey, that guy's naked. And some are hits, some are misses. Some of them are in the middle of a run. Some of them are issues #1s, which I would prefer more. Just a lot of random stuff. Did you ever read Hinterkind? All right, here we go. He got me the first Sandman issue #1. Amazing. No, it's just a reprint. It's the Essential Vertigo reprint. Plus, what is going on here? Did someone... Oh, I don't even want to touch that. Wow. Thanks, Dad. So this is a reprint. And this is also damaged down here. Wow, these What happened to this poor comic? Well, anyway, this is a classic Neil Gaiman, Chris Bachalo. If you never read the first Sandman book, here you can go and read it. This is a 1996 reprint. Now, maybe if it was in perfect condition, it could have been worth something, but reprints are never as valuable oftentimes as the first printing. Oh yeah, Cyberella. Here's a later reprint of Sandman #1 that's in kind of really weird condition. Fault Lines, never heard of this. It's another Vertical title. It's 2 of 6, so obviously I'm missing what's going on. Lee Mars, Bill Cobb. Lee Mars, she is a big name in the world of underground comics in the late 60s, early 70s, so this will be kind of interesting to check out. So Pudge, Girl Blimp, is one of Lee Mars's characters from back in the 60s and the 70s. She also did the Kangaroo. What was that one Kangaroo Turtles ripoff in the 80s? Preteen Dirty Jean Kung Fu Kangaroos, I believe. That was also a Lee Mars joint. So this is issue 2 of 6, and we'll see if we can understand the story as starting off on issue number 2. But you get what you pay for, and I didn't pay anything for these. Another Vertigo book. So yeah, my dad, I guess, was going to the dealer that was just selling off their Vertigo stock. This is another 2 out of 3. This is from 1997. Kind of a cool cover. Any names stand out here? Carlton and Gross. And yeah, it's, I don't know, fairy tale stuff with suggested for mature readers on the cover, that sort of thing. High fantasy, I suppose. Whenever I look at any of these older books, I also like to see the ads of the time, what movies are around, what other products and the like. So at least for the historical aspect of things, that's kind of cool. There's a couple of these Helix books from DC Comics. So DC had Vertigo, and they also had Helix. This is 1997. This is Time Breakers and Brain Banks. So I vaguely remember Helix. Don't know anything what it is all about. Is it, I don't know, just a more realistic aspect of things with some supernatural stuff? Tell me in the comments if you ever were into the Helix books. Ooh, there's some Adam Warren art. That Raven is amazing. I think Adam Warren is kind of underrated. He's got, of course, Empowered and worked on the Dirty Pair and such, but I don't think he gets as much shine as he deserves. So yeah, I don't know what that book's about. And then we've got Brain Banks. Another Helix title. I know this is 4 out of 6. This is 4 out of 5. So yeah, thanks, Dad, for giving me an incomplete story where I have to fill in the blanks for myself on the previous chapters. Whoa, that was when Steven Seagal and Keenan Ivory Wayans were just burning up the box office charts, right? And yep, kind of a realistic kind of art there, I guess, and interesting story, I guess. Naked cat guy. Moving over to some Marvel stuff. This is like a really watered, damaged X-Men. X-Men number 44? What number is this? Yeah, number 44 from 1995. So post-Image, post-Jim Lee. Comic book industry is starting to go downhill, or I would say by this time it was pretty downhill, because Marvel would soon declare bankruptcy by 98, 99 or so. And they were just kind of a dark period of time. It's interesting because the paper quality is a lot better. It's not the full glossy type, but it's definitely better than newsprint. The color looks nice on it. I just really don't like the current reprint style of really bright inks on really bright paper for these classic books. Oh no, Callisto, what happened? But yeah, this is a blast from the past. Look at this, purple on white. This is just such bad graphic design, but this definitely screams 90s. Here's a slightly older one, I guess, issue number 54. This is when the whole Onslaught storyline was going on. Cover is massively damaged. Just the power of Onslaught is destroying this comic cover. And that'd be kind of cool if it was actually one of the gimmick cover styles, like Crazy Man. Crazy Man was die cut on the edge over here. No, this is just Marvel, and it really, really feels, again, that 90s style, just Marvel 90s, just trying to figure things out at that point. Another one of these is all water damaged or moisture damaged or something. So on the one hand, this one is just, again, better newsprint, but it's a different style than the other one that I showed. And the colors come out nice on this kind of stock. Nowadays, the very glossy pages, I think, aren't as good as this classic style. Hey, it's Combo Man. Classic style of print from back in the 90s, but everything was better back in the 90s. Couple of Rise of Apocalypse. Let's see, what's this one? This is number 2, this is number 1. Okay, so yeah, Apocalypse, what a fascinating character. Did they ever think that it was really going to be such a far-reaching character when it debuted years ago, that it was having something to do with ancient, I don't know, Egyptian mythology and such, and this far-reaching story that never stood out to me. Now that's an amazing album there. Still have it all these years later. So yeah, I'm not interested in this at all, and it's 1996 vintage Marvel, which I'm also not a big fan of. Maybe you are. Tell me about it in the comments. Every comic is someone's first comic and their first love and such, but, you know, you do you. There's a run of Wolverine books here. I'll just show off the covers. So Wolverine 104 with Onslaught stuff going on. I think at that time also Professor X had some sort of suit that he could actually walk with, and Wolverine was super feral. And I guess there's Elektra. I don't know. Let's check. Is Elektra really in here? Wow, this newsprint is something else. It is better than it used to be, but it's still in this transitionary phase of quality. Then we go over to 113, Relic of Doom. So is this like some Dr. Doom sort of thing? Yeah, it's just mainline Wolverine. Oh, that's when he had his bone claws. And they had this part over here where they would, that's kind of epic. This one's here, they would do these synopses at that time. It's the 125th issue, guest stars galore. You've never believed the shock ending. Okay, I'm gonna completely spoil this and just go straight to the ending. Is this Shadowcat and Lockheed cool for the 90s? So what is the shock that we will not believe? I'm gonna reveal it. Oh, this is also a wraparound cover. Okay, cool. And the shock that we will not believe. Viper is my wife. Oh no, I spoiled something from 30 years ago. Moving on. Oh, this is the one that, these had variants. There was a foil version of this. This is the regular non-foil version. I wonder what big bucks this one's worth. Issue 145, when they were typing www.marvel.com. And he's still the best at what he does. I guess this is the storyline when he got his adamantium back. Ooh, that's kind of a cool-looking Hulk there coming at you. Hulk and Wolverine, like what is that all about, that they just have this eternal struggle, I guess. That was, the first appearance and the like. They're going to grow back, Hulk. And then lastly, interesting outfit here, Wolverine. And we've got the Apocalypse, the 12. So I don't know, this is the 12 horsemen of the Apocalypse. And here we had 60 years of Marvel superheroes. Yeah, so were you into things at this point? Kind of a cool outfit there. But I wasn't looking at X-Men stuff at this time. I was more of a Spider-Man boy. Not Spider-Boy, but you know what I mean. Kind of a cool page layout there. Yeah, bunch of Wolverine books from the late 90s. Remember when everyone was getting their own title in the 90s? Here's Cage, issue number 1, of course, with that cool gimmick cover. I remember that ad so clearly. Yeah, Cage, they tried to 90s him up. Doesn't quite have the iconic look like it used to. Some Cable books, The Fall of Clan Ascani is number 85. And I kind of like this over-the-top, over-rendered, detached cover. CGC won't like that. But I kind of like this over-rendered style of art where it's just really over-reliance on the computer colorization. Some is better than others. But yeah, you just have to be there. Freaky Links. This is vaguely familiar. Fear is the only link. From the creators of the Blair Witch Project, Freaky Links new series. I vaguely remember that. Tell me in the comments if you remember Freaky Links, the new series on Fox, debuting in the year 2000 or so. Hey, Dark Angel, I remember that one, definitely. So these books, if nothing else, are a great time capsule of the times gone by. Ooh, that's nice. And yeah, so, oh, Danger Girl. She had a video game. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So, interesting time capsule of stuff. X-Force number 104. I have no idea what's going on in this book. I think that's Will Portacio's signature there. So it's interesting how the image peeps started off in their respective companies, went on to Marvel, did their own thing, came back to the big publishers and the like, and just the evolution of their artwork and their time in it all. The history of comics is a fascinating one, and that's one of the many reasons I like comics. And also kind of the back matter of things. So pause that and check it out on your own. What else is going on here? Oh yeah, this is the time that everything was rebooting. So the brand new Daredevil with Kevin Smith, right? Oh no, that's not the Kevin Smith one just yet. This is from 2000. We have a couple books over here. Someone wrote their name on it, or is this signed by the original creator? This is the whole, what is this storyline? So I guess I see some scrolls here, and then normal over here. So she's a scroll here, and she's human there, but then it's reversed there. Amazing. So what is going on? Here's the synopsis. Yeah, Secret Invasion stuff is going on. I wasn't really into comics at the time. Who's the creative team? Dan Slott, Christian Gage, etc. It's 2008 plots and art at the time. Oh, that is an epic and nightmare fuel ad. And all the Skrull stuff that still affects us years later. I wasn't reading the books at all, so I have no idea what this NW. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in there. Tell me. Slapstick. Anyway, yeah, tell me what's going on in these books if you were reading them. Slapstick. That character definitely stands out amongst the other hard-boiled superheroes, but wasn't Slapstick also kind of violent? But cartoony and stuff at the same time. That guy got beat. And yeah, well, that's a violent cover too. I wasn't really up to date on this, but here we have Avengers Invaders cross-promotion with Dynamite. And it's a variant edition, so what am I even looking at here? So we got Ross, Kruger, Sadowski, and Baron Ketakatar. So Dynamite, I guess Dynamite characters mixing it up with Marvel characters. I kind of had no idea about this. This is 2009. And I'm all for inter-company crossovers. They should do those more at all. You know, what's the phrase that in one boat rises the tide and something like that, and everyone is bouncy, and that is disgusting. So, yeah, not much of the usual Dynamite stuff with the curvy ladies, but I guess that was Marvel reining them in. There's one of the many COD games. Alright, so I wasn't into comics at the time, but I remember this being in the news and such. Fallen Sun, the death of Captain America. And these are just some random issues from those storylines. I remember that image right there. That's a chapter 5, and then that's a chapter 5. Okay, this is a variant? What am I looking at here? So these are both 00511. These are both direct editions. It's the exact same comic, but a variant, I guess. And these are not marked as variants, which is interesting. $375, $299 each. I guess one of these are issues number 5. Is this a second printing or something? That's still not designated in the barcode. But anyway, which of these two covers do you like best? A sad robot Iron Man or dead Captain America? I think that's a way better image. So spoiler alert, Captain America has been shot. The Sentinel of Liberty, or whatever his tagline is dead. That's scary. But of course no one really dies in comics except Uncle Ben, and even he's been brought back in various ways. Fuck Nazis. Get him, Cap. And so, yep, this was the big storyline that I remember at the time. All of these epic plots. And how could Captain America die? I don't know, everyone dies. And then comes back. Okay, actually, I guess this is kind of a run of Captain America books that my dad thought I would enjoy. So there's Captain America and Girl Captain America. Sorry, I don't know her name at all. This is all in the Marvel, yeah, the M2 story plot thing, because that's like Juggernaut Jr., I guess, and is Mayday Spider-Girl in here? I don't know, I wasn't into comics at this point. So it's kind of interesting. I've had my original comic book collecting time between 87 and doom, 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 doom. Come on, everyone, chant. Doom, doom, doom. So my original comic collecting was between 87 and 92 or so. And then kind of got back into it in 93. There's a little bit of Image and Lobo comics. Fell off by the end of the decade when I went off to college. There's a big old dry period in the 2000s. I check in with comics here and there, but really wasn't into them for a long time, and then I got back into them in like 2014 or so. Ooh, there's a classic Rob Liefeld Captain America title. So again, as I was saying earlier about the Image creators coming back and working with the big publishers that made them who they were in the beginning. Take that, Cable. That's probably not Cable. But yeah, so here's Liefeld back with Captain America. This is number 5. Ricky Barnes, Cap, Falcon. What's this one? So Captain America number 31, the Brubaker time. Was Winter Soldier debuting at this point? So the joke often was that, yeah, everyone comes back when they die in comic, except for Uncle Ben and Bucky. And we all know that Bucky came back is super popular as the Winter Soldier, so I'm sure they'll bring back Uncle Ben any one of these days as Super Ben. Ooh, that's kind of a cool... What is going on here? This looks very freaky, like it's The Mask. What am I even looking at? Maybe this one I'll put it on the pile to actually read. I kind of like the art of this. Is this Chris Bachalo? Yeah, Chris Bachalo. So I love Chris Bachalo's work, and yeah, I want to check this one out, at least for the art. I'm completely lost in the plot, but I'm always down for some Bachalo art. These two are Captain America 8 and 9, The Extremists Part 2 of 4. That's kind of a cool striking cover there. It would have been a little bit better if he was upside down like that. More in peril. Danny Mickey over here, I guess. So I totally love the concept of Captain America, but I just never read any of his books. He's gone through so many decades of plots. Where do you even start? But I guess a limited edition plot like this would be a good place. But again, thanks, Dad, for getting me something in media res, where I don't even know what's going on. But okay, Captain America books. SpongeBob versus Daredevil? Cool. Inhumans. Now, this is some amazing art. Who did this? So jumping over here, the artist is Ladron. Not familiar with them at all, but kind of feels like vaguely JR-ish, vaguely heavy metal-ish, European, I suppose. There's that style, vaguely Mobius-ish. So that's some kind of cool art going on the interior of this. Again, shame that it's nowhere a complete story to really enjoy, and I'm not really going to go out of my way to find the other parts of this, so I totally appreciate my dad getting me all of these comics, but when you're at 3 out of 4... I don't know, but you can't look a gift comic in the mouth. Let's toss in and really beat up Namor from the 90s, On the Run from Everyone. So what year is this from? 1994, and it's got the original ad over here. Ooh, Gargoyles. That was an amazing series, definitely. Yeah, so 1994, mainline, Namor, after Jay Lee left. Were too many people paying attention? Maybe not. Kind of weak Captain America over there. So, yeah. Epic pose. Fun panel layout, I guess. Here we go, the comic book adaptation of Doom. Just kidding, this is not the comic book adaptation of Doom, or I don't think it is. It's from Marvel, 2 out of 3. We've got Chuck Dixon and Leonardo Manco. Don't recognize Manco, but of course Dixon everyone knows. This is interesting art. Yeah. It's kind of cool. So is this actually Doom? No, it's not Doom, is it? Is it a Doctor Doom thing? Is it a... And when I talk about Doom, of course, I mean Doom the video game. This one might be interesting to browse through. Art is cool. Kind of like that Wolverine there. Panel layouts are cool. Art is nice and such. Now that's kind of interesting. An Image comic as a video game in a Marvel comic, but you gotta sell ad space, especially at this time when Marvel is struggling. This is Marvel in the year 2000. So I'll put this one on the read pile, I guess. We got a Fantastic Four annual from the year 2000, The Future. Dorma Triumphant Plus, a bonus story featuring Marvel Girl. So this is the style of art that I was saying, that it's this, this super Photoshop, bulbous style. It's kind of cool art. It pops really well on the cover. And the paper quality is just interesting how it jumps back and forth between the shiny, glossy stuff. Kind of a cool variant of the Fantastic Four outfits. And it's not the overpowering bright white paper. There's still a little bit of a bleed in the paper that doesn't make it overwhelming. You can tell it's the future because of that monitor there. I remember this. Tobacco is wacko if you're a teen. Okay, that's funny. So it's still wacko even if you're not a teen. That stuff will kill you. It's kind of a cool battle pose there. Pokemon. Ben Grimm forcing Mr. Fantastic onto the bed like that. That's an innuendo panel if I've ever seen one. Yeah, I kind of like this art. Pretty cool outfit. Of course, Sue is the only one with bearing midriff, I suppose. Come on, we want to see those rock-hard abs of the Thing. Literally rock hard. Okay, let's take a look at the Marvel Girl. So which version of Marvel Girl is this? There's just so many different versions of so many different characters, right? The art on this one, I don't like it as much as the main Fantastic Four part. It's a fun logo. I want that on a t-shirt. All right, this one's interesting. So out of all of that mainline Marvel and DC stuff, then we have Gladstone. Do any of you youngsters even know Gladstone? And this is a #1. That's cool. Thanks for that, Dad. Although it's obviously in bad condition. And here we have Dick Tracy versus Mrs. Pruneface. He's coming at him with a whip and everything. And then you turn the page and you see Mrs. Pruneface here. So I got to do a video on this, I think, because someone's going to learn about S&M soon. But I should do a full comic review episode on this, just because it's way more fun to work on the to review the WTH stuff. So yeah, I won't give too much away of that, but I think I might review this one at some point. And this is a big book, $1.95. What year is this? 1990. The original Dick Tracy #1, 1990. All right, so be on the lookout for a full review of this at some point. And don't let Mrs. Pruneface keep you up at night. We're getting kind of into some random stuff. So ElfQuest, this is over at Warp, 1996. Welcome to Our World. It's like a source book or a, what is this? A Wild Hunt, Fire Eye Rogue's Curse, Wave Dancer. Black and white. So ElfQuest was at Marvel, wasn't it, for a little bit of time? Were they at DC? I think they were even at DC for a bit, but then they always returned to their roots with Warp graphics. Different stories by different creators. I kind of like the art on this one a little bit better than some of the other art that we're seeing here. It's all similar, I suppose. Is it different? It is a slightly different teams, but they all have the house style going on pretty well. And this is a classic that's been around since the late 70s, right? How about some early manga courtesy of Dark Horse and Studio Proteus? So Dark Horse was responsible for bringing manga to the US in some part. It's a long story, as usual in the world of comics. It's an interesting story and history and the like, but definitely Ghost in the Shell was a big impetus to bring manga to the US. This is 1997, and it's Chrono War. Not too familiar with that one, and we've got a 7 out of 9. So I'm totally missing all the plots and stories, but as usual, the intricate Japanese art is something to behold. So I might seek out the rest of these books if I want the whole story or the anime. Ooh, here's a Star Wars book back when Dark Horse had the license. This is Shadows of the Empire Evolution 2 of 5. Ooh, so when the Shadows of the Empire storyline was going on, there were no new Star Wars comics at that time, but the multimedia initiative of Shadows of the Empire with the amazing character Prince Shizor, however you pronounce it, which was happening in between, what was it happening in between Empire and Jedi? And it was comics and video games and everything. And so here we've got this. Interior art's kind of okay. This cover is way better, though. I wish the interiors had this style. This reminds me like a Glenn Fabry style. It's Duncan Fegredo. I've got to look up his art a bit more to see what else is out there. I wonder if he's doing any interiors, if it's just covers. I would imagine all of these interior pages in that amazing style. That'd be cool. This is a blast from the past. The Black September Valiant thing that happened after Marvel bought them and just absorbed the company and completely gutted it and destroyed that. That looks like a cover of an old EC Comics cover. But yeah, this is the merging of those two. There's sludge. The merging of those worlds and then just kind of forgotten. Kind of looks like a cool character there. But it's kind of a shame because, again, every comic is someone's nostalgia point. Were you into Valiant comics at the time? Now, is this Valiant or Malibu? Sorry about that. I'm kind of mixing them all up. I wasn't really into Malibu or Valiant, so I don't remember which one it was. No, it was Malibu. That's it. It was Malibu that was bought up, not Valiant. Yeah, Malibu, because Prime and all of that. So, okay, there's Mantra 2.0. So, yeah, Black September, you had to be there. So if I'm giving out the Booty of the Year award, it's got to go to this character over here, and these amazing glutes. And if this comic is called Brass, then we know what they actually wanted to call it. Anyway, kind of a cluttered cover. You have Arcudi. Is that John Arcudi? I think they also worked over at Dark Horse at a time. That's right, you suck. You tell them. Yeah, so this book's called Brass. Yeah, John Arcudi. They worked on The Mask, I believe, over at Dark Horse. So kind of, yeah, mechs and aliens and stuff. Very colorful art. Kind of cool. Big, bold colors. The color palette's nice. Cute little alien guy. Hope he survives. And this one is issue number 3 of 6. Can interest you in some CrossGen books. That was the early 2000s factory of creators or something like that. So we have Ron Mars, Brandon Peterson, John Dell, Andrew Crosley on this. It's from August 2000, very much reliant on the computer colorization of it all. So it definitely feels of the time. I guess kind of getting over a little bit of the Bad Girls craze at the time as well with some of these characters. So I don't know what's going on here. Swords and sorcery kind of stuff. Mystic number 3. Oh no, it's my evil twin or something. And this devil guy. Not anatomically correct. I'm sure you didn't really want to see Demon Dong, but it looks really silly when things are like that. Hey, that's a CrossGen logo. Do they read CrossGen comics? Yeah, I don't know any of the story about CrossGen at all. It was kind of a footnote in time of comics, I suppose. They really feel of that time. I don't know if this is too much of a badass cover as they wanted it to be, but I guess if you know the character, this is what Meridian, if you know the character and the plots and so forth, that must be a really cool cover. But none of this really stands out to me. Who's the creative team on this? Oh, Barbara Kiesel, John Middleton, Dexter Vines, Michael Etienne. Kiesel, that's a big name in the world of comics. She's been around a long time. And then we've got Sigil. So yeah, all of these style. There's another Kiesel joint. This one's more beat up than the others, but it's a number 2, so maybe I can kind of figure out what's going on in this book. So, I don't know, Space Marines and stuff, and cool outfit on her. Some cute creature thing. Some wet dream come to life or something. That's kind of cool. Yep, so a bunch of CrossGen books. Tell me in the comments if you're into CrossGen. Whenever I see a Francesco Francavilla cover, I gotta get a Francesca Francavilla cover. This is issue number 3. This is very recent. This is DC Seminole Black. Oh, this is in Spanish. So this is Spanish edition version of this comic. That's Nightmare Fuel. So that's interesting. So yeah, when my parents go off on their Mexican holiday, they also look on the comic shops and get me some Mexican comics once in a while. But I think my dad said he got all of these at the swap meet, or did they take a quick trip to Tijuana as well? Oh, anyway, there is another Sandman book. This one's still sealed, wraparound cover. Oh, this is another Mexican one. It's 99 pesos. Batman Gotham Knights, Gilded City, 4 of 6. In perfect condition because of the bag. And lastly, we'll wrap up the video with a classic comic book of the 90s, Jim Lee's Wildcats #3. Is this the mini-series or the regular series? This is the mini-series, so it's 3 out of 4. Mall. This is just classic. Takes me back to a simpler time, when the world was a simpler place. Comics were a simpler thing. You could resolve your problems simply with a laser blast to the face. And Dan Quayle was the villain of the age. Lord Amp, hilarious. Yeah, so classic Jim Lee art. There's Zealot doing her usual thing. So much action. Ripclaw getting the job done. Lord Hellspawn. Yep, this was some classic stuff. You youngsters don't even know what comics were like back then when the vice president was a villain of the comic. Just imagine Vice President Kamala Harris battling some superheroes in an Image comic nowadays. I still think this is a pretty cool design on this character. And it was revolutionary when you had the voice as speech balloons that also had a style. Fan service. And then we've got the cliffhanger at the end to bring you back to the final 4th issue. Final issue will be polybagged with a special Wildcats Tops trading card, and will also include a sneak preview of the Larry Stroman Image Project Tribe. Ooh, I remember the Tribe, and that gimmick cover was amazing. Prized possession. Letters column, and yeah, there we have it. From that huge stack of comics that my dad got me at the swap meet, which of them did you like? Which of them did you read back in the day? Which are you interested in reading now? Tell me any of those that you want me to do a full-length review of. I'm definitely going to do that Dick Tracy one at some point. Maybe the Lobo Hitman one too. Tell me what you'd like to see in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you really like this video, consider going over to the Patreon, patreon.com/vmcampos, to get early access to my content. Be in the know before anyone else for $3.33. What a deal. Keep the channel going, keep it funded, be a part of it for $3.33 a month. Amazing. If you can't quite pledge at the moment, no worries. Simply wait for the public version of the videos and enjoy. So, this has been VM Campos, and I'll see you in the next video.